Everybody has their own things they're scared of. And, for people that are more traditional, it's the spiritual stuff that might scare them. For people that are more spiritual, it's the more mainstream stuff that might scare us a bit. But we're still dealing with the same thing. We're still dealing with the fear that we won't belong if we're just being ourselves. If we're just who we are, if we just show people who we are, we might get rejected. And I think that's a great fear. And I remember myself coming out from the spiritual closet many years ago, and I remember just how terrified I was with about my clients judging me. But the reality was the only person who was actually judging me in that moment was me. And it's something that I think is so important. Another good reason why I'm really pleased that you brought that up about, and that we've kind of themed this about coming out of the spiritual closet, because it is important that other people see our vulnerability around this and realize that, this was hard for us too. But when I started personally to accept my own truth, a few people found it challenging, especially one of my clients who was very religious. But you know what? He found grace for me because my integrity as a man had already created a goodwill between us. So although we didn't share the same beliefs, it didn't change the fact that I was reliable, I was trustworthy, and he knew he could count on me to get the results for his business. So I think the fear of losing my livelihood, it's a genuine fear. Losing my livelihood because my clients might reject me for living my truth. I knew in my heart, though, I had to do the healing work around these fears, because this way of thinking was a classic ego trap that wanted to imprison me in my own fears. And for a while it did, but as the expression goes, the truth will set you free. And when I chose to prioritize my truth over my fears, it did set me free. So I think as long as you're not being unprofessional about your coming out, like if someone called me up to do an internet marketing campaign for their dog food brand, I'm not going to go, start talking about my astral projection experiences, am I? I'm going to focus on my clients' needs. So I totally understand it and I get it. I think people sometimes, do struggle to accept our extraordinary gifts, but it's also the case we can sometimes struggle to respect ordinary living. There's another expression that comes to mind: before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. And I think it's so true. Many of us get caught up in the end results of what we're working toward, and we forget how our own spiritual journey was in the beginning before enlightenment.